President, who has among the highest approval ratings in the nation, has made more than 80 campaign stops this season and could be laying the groundwork for another Hillary Clinton run for president in 2016. Is that what's going on here? Jonathan Capehart, Sophia Nelson, Simon Rosenberg are back with me. Simon, I got to say, I think Bill loves it out there. He's a born campaigner. He loves the crowds. He loves the applause. But is he collecting the chips and putting them into a little bank that he's going to start cashing in come around 2015?
You know, I worked for President Clinton in the 1992 campaign and spent a lot of time, right by his side in some of the campaign rallies and so on. And as you said, look, this is a guy who has passionate beliefs about the future of the country. He worked very hard as president and left America better than he found it. I think he's upset about what's happened over the last decade, and I think he's going to go out there and make his case. He loves to be in the game. He's going to fight for candidates all over the country. I think Bill Clinton's going to be doing this to the day he dies, so I'm not surprised. And whether Hillary runs in the future, we'll find out, but I think he knows the stakes are high in this election. He's going to do his part.
A reporter with the UK, Jonathan, the UK Telegraph, asked the former president whether Hillary would run in 2016, and he flashed that big grin, and he just said, she speaks for herself on these things. What do you think is going on here?
She speaks for herself on these things. These manufactured stories like this drive me absolutely bananas. Hillary Clinton is now Secretary of State. She was appointed by President Obama to be in that role. As a result, she cannot go out and campaign. She cannot be political. So, of course, it makes sense if Hillary Clinton can't go out and campaign for candidates, Democrats, mind you, who are fighting for re-election to help the president push his agenda beyond 2010, you send out Bill Clinton, arguably the most popular former Democratic president out there.
Are you suggesting, Jonathan, that he is not in any way thinking, well, should my wife decide that she wants to run?
Chris,
it's not.
Come on, it's politics. If Secretary Clinton decides to run in 2016, and she goes out across the country and says, "Hey, my husband, remember when you were in trouble in 2010? My husband went out and campaigned for you. I now need your help." I'm not going to be surprised by that. But the fact that we're talking about this in 2010, when the Democrats are fighting to hang on to the House of Representatives 2 years into a Democratic president's term, is ridiculous.
Chris, I agree with Jonathan.
You agree with Jonathan?
I agree with Jonathan. I think we're way overthinking this thing. I think President Clinton is a loyal guy. He knows politics. He's an old school guy, and he knows you repay people that help you. As my granddaddy used to say, you leave the dance with who brung you. And so that's how it works.
I'm getting no love here. It wasn't even my hypothesis. I'm sure with the Washington Post article, Jonathan. Where is it? I got to find it here. I'm going to look it up. Since I've got too many things that I've read.
Find it. Chris, I wrote a piece for Post a couple of weeks ago that said, unless and until we hear from Secretary Clinton herself, not some surrogate, that she is actually running for president, I'm not going to entertain this question of will she or won't she. I think,
Are you drawing your line in the sand and saying that's it, you're done, no more about this?
Yeah.
Really?
Unless you ask me to talk about it, but I mean...
Jonathan, Sophia, Simon, thanks to all of you. Big money from domestic and foreign corporations has been pouring into political groups as Election Day nears. But while those figures keep growing, there's a new report out that shows major